how much less will the cash offer be compared to what my client can get on the open market? That's a question I legitimately get asked every single week, probably more than one time a week. And so I want to directly answer the question so that anybody who's thinking about referring us to an agent partnership deal, or anybody that's, thinking about flipping houses, can kind of get an idea of how this works. So first and foremost, when it comes to like what we're going to offer on a property, if somebody refers us to a seller or they want us to come out to a property, if an agent gives us an address and they give us kind of an idea of the condition, and a lot of times we can even get an idea of the condition just by looking on Google Maps, we can get a pretty clear understanding, generally speaking, of what our offer range is going to be. So I know one thing that agents, can sometimes be fearful of is us coming out to the property, them having no idea what we could potentially offer, us coming out there, lowballing their seller, and hurting the relationship. That is the number one thing that we want to try to avoid with any of your sellers. Not that we're going to lowball, but we want to avoid any issues with the potential relationship, because we want to make sure first and foremost that if you bring us out to a seller and you give us the opportunity to potentially flip that house or even take a look at that house, that really, like straight up, that you're going to make money on it either way, whether that goes into a listing or whether that is a cash offer that they accept. And as you all know, I very much believe that all sellers should be able to have both options. However, we can give you somewhat of an idea of what we can pay before we go out there so that you can know whether you even want us to come out to the property. So that's first and foremost. So that's just the most important thing to know. But secondarily, how do we come up with these offers? And is it something that, if I tell you a formula or I give you kind of our premise, you'll be able to know ahead of time? And the honest answer is no. There is no direct formula that I can give you that we use. A lot of agents and a lot of investors, if you Google search online, what do most investors or flippers pay for a property, you'll come across a common formula, which is 70% times the after repair value minus repairs equals the offer. And I can tell you that when I was kind of a rookie and first starting, that was a formula that I used to use. There's many reasons why I stopped using that formula, and mainly because there are properties that are out there that if you use that formula and it meets the formula, that you'll actually still not have a great chance of making money, and that deal will be risky. On the flip side of that, there's also deals that you can pay a lot more than that formula. So when we look at every property, the first thing that we look at is risk. We look at how many potential buyers are potentially in the market for that type of property. We look at the repairs. We look at how long the repairs are going to take. We will analyze a property completely differently if it's a 1 or 2 week renovation versus a year. And we've done every type of renovation out there, from ground up new construction to condo conversions that can take a year, all the way down to, renovating a 600 square foot condo that might take a week or two to renovate. Those are not the same types of deals. Those deals are different, and they require a different analysis and a different calculation. The same thing with the total buyers that are in the market. If somebody reaches out to me and they tell me that they have a single family out in the Berkshires, that's completely different than if you have a single family house that is 5 miles from Boston. Totally different process for selling it. Totally different length of time that it's going to take for you to sell it. Totally different risk factor. So when we look at all of these properties and we analyze them and we come up with a number, we're really taking all of the feedback that we've gotten in the past 20 years from all the flips that we've done. What types of styles of houses tend to do better? What types of units tend to do better? What type of renovations tend to do better? What type of markets tend to do better? And we assess the risk, and we come up with an offer based on how we feel that we've done in the past on those particular types of deals, those particular types of markets, and those particular types of renovations. So I wish that I could give you a clean cut answer. And it also depends I'll say one last thing on this. It also depends on the type of condition that the property's in. So the closer, the worse condition the property's in, the closer we're going to be to what they would get, or maybe we might even be the same price as what they would get if they put the property on the market, right? Because if they put the property on the MLS and they have to pay a commission, and the flipper has to come out and they have to make money, well, you know, we're very competitive with our pricing on flips. That seller actually might make more or just as much money selling to us as they would have on the MLS. And the reverse is also true. If a property's in completely perfect condition, doesn't need any work, we're probably going to be further off from market value. But with all of that being said, and I try to emphasize this with any agents that do ask me this question, rather than you try to figure out whether it's a good deal for us or a good deal for you or a good deal for your seller or what our offer might be, I would encourage you strongly to reach out to me directly, and within a 2 to 3 minute period, we can kind of give you a ballpark. And that's always going to be a better way to do it than for you to try to guess at what our offer might be. Because our offers might surprise you. They might be a lot higher in some cases than you think. They might be a lot lower in some cases than you might think. And there's always reasoning behind why our offers are our offers, which we're happy to explain to you. So to learn more about how we do all of this stuff, please register for my next upcoming event at www.agentinvestorevent.com. It's coming up in a couple weeks in hotel in East Boston. We are going to be covering not only our fix and flip deals, we're going to be covering how agents can find these fix and flip opportunities in 2 minutes or less themselves, how to come up with seller appointments, and also one brand new thing that we're doing is we're going to be talking about how we're actually giving seller appointments to agents. Using those seller appointments, the agents can actually do the profit split with us. I'm going to say that one more time because a lot of people are like, what? Wait, what are you talking about? This is brand new. We haven't even started doing this yet. But we are now giving seller appointments to agents. When they go out and they go on the appointment, if they take it as a listing, they get it as a listing. And if it turns into a fix and flip deal, we will actually split the profits 50-50, even though it wasn't your lead. Okay, so I want to be really, really clear about that. Like, you can make a bunch more money on these opportunities that we're going to be giving to agents. We book between 100 and 130 fix and flip seller appointments per week. We've got a team that goes out on them. We're looking to give some more appointments away to other agents. Make sure you register for my next event at www.agentinvestorevent.com to learn more. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.